All right, with the coach again for the USC men's volleyball team, Bill Ferguson. You only had one match this past week, but after UCLA and the disappointing defeat, what were your reactions to the three-game sweep of Pepperdine?
Well, first of all, really excited that we responded well to an adverse situation. Again, that's always good when you have a young team that is able to move on and focus on the next task at hand. So that was great. In the big picture, stuff that we weren't really talking about, but stuff that I have to pay attention to is that was a big deal in the conference standings. They were 5-3 going into that. We were 4-4. So if that match went the other way, they're 6-3, and a long way ahead of us in the conference standings, and we're one game below 500. With a pretty tough stretch coming up in the next few weeks. So, small picture and big picture, it was a really good night for us. Huge, Tanner Jansen had been, steadily improving. We talked about needing to get better on the right side, and Tanner had been working his tail off, to get better, and he's doing a great job. Got to a point where he's consistently hitting at a great clip, both out of the front row and back row. Unfortunately, had a setback and tweaked his ankle. But during that time, Madison McKibben had been rehabbing at opposite, and he did a great job rehabbing, and that was the first night he was active. And so, ironically, Tanner tweaks his ankle, and Maddie was able to come in and play great. And so we like both of them healthy at the same time, but it was nice to have Madison come in and do some great stuff. And Mahalski got back in the lineup and did really well and hit for good numbers and passed well. Tony continued. Feathers and Chandrick were great, and Henry held his own. So, it was only one match, but it was a really big match. And like I said, small picture and big picture, it was good for us.
Based on having a week of practice like you did, what did you see during the week that made you led maybe you to think that they would have a match like that?
I didn't know. They had a great attitude. We had our best video session that Monday following the UCLA match, and we got some feedback from a couple of the guys that they thought it was a great video session. We had a lot to look at, lots of things that we weren't happy with from the UCLA match that we were able to, I think, correct during the week, or at least make improvement on during that week, and we saw a lot of that improvement in the match on Friday night. So it was good to see that carry over, and we could see we stat practice every day, and we could see everybody's offensive numbers rising consistently. So that was all good for us too.
If you can keep Madison healthy and Tanner, what does that really do for your team?
Well, that's big. The right side is so important in our game, and to have two guys that are good, that can be out there competing every day in practice is huge. And they both do different things really well. So, Madison's our best end blocker on our roster. So I think you saw him get 4 blocks in one set. So that was huge. And Madison's ball control is great. Tanner's a guy that's going to go back and bang the ball from on the attacking standpoint and bang the ball from the service line, where Maddie is a little more controlled and precise. So if you can morph both of them into one guy, you'd have the perfect opposite. But it's good. Madison's getting better with his serving and getting better with his attacking. Tanner's getting better with his blocking and his ball control. So altogether, they're both raising the level of their game a lot, and that's gonna do great things for us down the road.
Another guy who really contributed against Pepperdine was Robert Feathers. Had the 7 blocks. What have you seen from his game as the season's progressed?
He's one of those guys that you watch him do things, and to the naked eye it doesn't always look pretty, but there isn't a guy out there that's trying harder and cares more about what he's doing out there than Robert. And I got to throw in a Bob, because that's what we call him in the court. He's just, the guy goes hard every single day. Everything he does, he puts everything into it, and it shows. He's leading the conference in blocks per game. And that's a huge thing for us, and he brings that to us, and we're working on him offensively. He keeps getting better at that every day. He keeps working on his serve every day. He's actually a good defender for a big guy, and he's working on his discipline and where to play defense. So those are that's stuff he does. That's Bob in a nutshell.
This week you get out of conference play. You play NAIA team in Hope International.
Yeah.
What do you even know about them?
We know absolutely nothing at this point. This is Monday afternoon. We have focused in video all morning with the staff just on our offense and serve receive, and we're going to work on that today. We're going to focus on our block and defense on Tuesday, and then Wednesday we're going to start looking at Hope, and the guys won't really see anything from Hope until tomorrow afternoon. Or excuse me, until Wednesday afternoon, tomorrow when this airs.
And tomorrow is Valentine's Day, so I guess I'll close out any big Valentine plans for you?
Yeah, well, I don't know about big, but love you, Bren. It's my wife. she allows me to do this, and my daughter Blake, she's going on 15 months, so got a couple gals at home that we'll take care of.